Who's now joining us at the table is Ijaduoye, who directed OUNJE ALE. Did I get it?
OUNJE ALE, yes,
Thank
you got
you.
it.
Thank you, because lots of people have so much to say about how I pronounce my own name that they forget that it's my own language.
But you will disappoint them today, right?
Did I not already?
You will disappoint them.
I'm very happy with that. Well, first and foremost, a big congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congrats.
When we talk about your film, please do give us a little synopsis about it. But then also, I wonder if we can go into the practicalities of actually creating a short film. I ask because I'm a reporter. And I know that when I have stories, sometimes a story could warrant a lengthier time. But I do try and keep my reports as succinct as possible because of attention span. But also, I think it takes a bit more of... it takes a bit more discipline to really get the crux of a story out in as little time as possible. So when you are creating shorts, I'd imagine that you might start with a whole lot of material on your editing software, on your timeline, and then for you to get to your final cut of around, was this 10 minutes as well?
11.
11 minutes. What is that process like?
The process starts at the tail end, being it you shoot an entire movie and then you start cutting down. Shorts started as experimental movies, being it, let's try an act, because movies are broken down into like 3 acts, act 1, 2, or 3. So let's try an act and see how it goes, if it will work. So shorts starts from the writing. So when you're writing the script, you already know, okay, what format am I going to put it in? Is it going to be a short film or is it going to be a long film, the feature length? So if it's going to be a short film, with that, you have to reduce the number of scenes you would have in it. And the story, you would pick a part of the story to tell. You can't tell the entire story. So short movies leave people wanting more. They know, okay, you picked a part of the entire movie to show your audience. So it starts with the writing. So it's not a 2 hours movie and then you start cutting it down to 10 minutes. Or you lose a lot if you do it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then please do tell us about the film itself.
Oh yes, the backstory. So growing up, we used to have a lot of stories from boarding house. So you're back from school. And I never went to boarding house, but I had friends that went to boarding house. They come back from schools and there are a lot of creepy stories. Oh, we had Bush Baby, we had Madame Koi Koi, a ghost appeared in the room and all of that. And I realized that it doesn't happen again. So it was a phase. And then one thing that is part of us Nigerians is we don't document as much. So the history gets lost as we go on. There are a lot of information that goes out. So I took it upon myself and my office, where I work, we have a school of media. So we all agreed that we are going to OUNJE Academy. We all agreed that we are going to document and then keep this face. So OUNJE ALE is the first of many.
Okay.
With the OUNJE ALE story is about the caterer that was leached. So a child died out of food poisoning and then she was leached. And it felt she killed the child. So the parents of the child came to school. The school villagers came together and killed her. She died, her spirit was roaming the same school and she continued serving food even after her death. That's why it's night food. So it's a story, it shows a girl that got curious after. What she uses is that she leaves trails of rice. So you see it and you get curious to find out who is this. Immediately you see her, she takes you.
Wow.
And then you become one of our armies.
Is it in Yoruba or?
No, it's in English.
It's in English.
Yes.
Would you describe its genre as a horror because of the premise?
Absolutely.
So then again, talking about the duration of a short film and then actually serving the purpose of a horror film. I mean, with any of these films, the purpose is ultimately to entertain.
Yes.
But I think this is the first I'm hearing of a short horror. I mean, personally, that speaks to my lack of knowledge when it comes to films. But when you talk about the idea and being intentional with your shorts, you said that from inception, you know that you're writing a short film. But I'm just thinking about suspense and building all of these things within 11 minutes. It must be quite difficult.
Well, I won't say that because they're actually 5 seconds movies.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can tell
right.
stories in 5 seconds.
Me that will blink for 5 seconds.
So I won't say it's extremely difficult. It's just like your backstory with OUNJE ALE. You won't the backstory of when she was leashed is not there. We just went straight to show when she started.
Oh,
So the story started from the girl, which is the lead character, Joy, who started seeing trail of rice in the hostel, and she got tired of cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. The matron was going to beat her because the hostel was not clean. When it was, the whole routine cleaning of there's a timetable you have to clean. So whenever it's at dawn, she realized that someone is littering the hostel with rice. And curiosity drove her to go and find out, oh, who is this person doing this? And then at night, when others were sleeping, she stood out and started following the rice through to discover that it's actually a spirit. And it was too late for her to... And then with horror, I believe horror is much of suspense, and why I like it is I don't enjoy watching horror movies as much as making them. But I believe it's once you know how to shift expectations, and then you know how to prank people, you're already a horror storyteller because you are giving them chills when they're not supposed to have, and then you're changing their expectations. They are thinking this will happen, and then that happens. There's a lot of shock, suspense, and all of that. And then,
okay, Uche, I mean, we've got just a couple of minutes to go, but let me, ram two questions into one here. One is that I like, I like the way that you three guys, all you winners, appear. I mean, you see art, you see unconventional.
Absolutely.
Exactly, you look the part. What is it like in Nigeria today, the short film filmmakers club? Is it a growing thing? Is it buoyant? Is it, how lively is it? I mean, can we point at people and say, oh, these are Nigerian, filmmakers who specialize in short films? And then secondly, at what point, again, coming back to how you guys look, and I like the vibe, at what point do you think that we will have, for Nigerian films, I think Adeshola mentioned Nollywood. He used that expression the other time. At what time are we going to have Nollywood's answer to Burna Boy, to Wizkid, to Davido? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Burna Boy at Madison Square Garden. Look at, $1 million for Wizzy now just to feature. At what point will that come, that sort of global acceptance come to Nollywood?
all right. So for the first question, I believe short films, the crop of filmmakers we have now making short films, it's rising, and it's fast becoming a force. So we have a lot of festivals that we celebrate short films. It's not yet it's not yet taking over feature length or
documentary.
It's not yet you can't monetize it traditionally currently, but I know it's on the way. We were discussing before we came in here, as it will happen when you have 3 filmmakers in the room, and I was telling myself that very soon we'd have cinemas showing short films as against feature length, because attention spans of people are reducing, and then you have a lot of short form content being consumed regularly. So people get used to wanting short form content. They would get tired of going to the cinema to see 2 hours length movies of just one movie. Rather, they want something they can have control over, a category of movies they would like to see. So I believe very soon, you can mark my words, I can say that. So in next 2 years, I think short film would begin to penetrate and then have a force there. Okay. The second question, please remind me.
Burna.
Yeah, Burna. Yeah. I got excited when you asked that, and I forgot. So I think it will happen. If you look at because if you want to check and see trends, you need to check history and then see where we are now. So if you go back to his history in the 90s, early 80s, in fact, one of the first movies made in Nigeria, the first one was horror, was Witch Doctor of the Living Dead. It was made in 85. Yeah, it was hilariously horror. So you see a lot of things that are out of. So, but it's back then we had a lot of brave directors that told stories but didn't have the technical ability.
Right.
So they told stories the way they could.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have YouTube to train them on the technical aspect. If you want to learn, you have to travel. And not all of them had the funds or the necessary resources to travel. So they told a lot of stories and then you see stories of what is happening and all that. Right now we have technical directors that understand the technical part, but I believe or I feel they are going to commercial and they are losing out on telling our own story, real stories.
Yeah.
So that's what I think will happen when these two comes together. We'll begin to create content that would make people around the world stand at attention to Nigerian filmmakers. Just like when Wakanda came out, they had a lot of people going back to their rappers.
Absolutely.
All right, so I think next.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jay.
Thank you.
Jay. Thank you so
For
much.
having me.
Wonderful. And big congratulations to all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.